Verbal or life.
You know, more and more people are noticing how it's important that we deport all these illegal immigrants. Now, in New York City subway, we got a lunatic that went ahead and burned a subway rider. Have you heard about this, Nate?
Yo, listen, you only listen to this in movies or action figure or you just joke about it. But this is happening in real time. Insane.
Yo, that's
Mhm.
crazy. This is like real life imitating a movie.
A
Can you
movie.
believe this? Not only that, but you know what? The mainstream media, the news, they never say it that it's an illegal migrant. At first, they were just saying migrants. But now we're finding out that the guy was actually deported and came back. So it's actually an illegal migrant. But let's check out the report, man. By the way, my name is Noel. Welcome to Verbal on Life.
My name is Nate, no filter. What's up? Welcome to Burble.
All right. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit a like. And remember, the mainstream media doesn't give you the full report. So we got to talk about it. We got to be verbal. Let's go.
Police in New York say they have a person of interest in custody after a woman was set on fire and burned to death on a subway train. It doesn't sound real. Kelly Beeson is in the newsroom for us following the story.
It doesn't sound real. It sounds out of this world. Like, what are we doing?
Yo, 2024 has been hard, man. We got 16 more days.
Just
this
16
shit
more
right
days.
there. Yeah.
Crazy.
Kelly, so it was likely a woman who was homeless, sleeping on the train at the time.
Yeah, we definitely can confirm, Adrian, that she was in fact sleeping, but authorities are saying.
You see what they're saying? Yeah, it makes kind of sense that it was a homeless woman sleeping on the train. But what do you know about this, Nate?
Nah, by the way, they need to restrict the information. She wasn't homeless. She was a student.
See, that sounds unbelievable. Are you serious?
Yeah. 18 years old, beautiful girl, PhD, educated. I don't know what happened, Bert.
You see that right there? Naturally, automatically, one would think a homeless woman. And look at the news talking about it might be a homeless woman. But you just heard from Nate. This was
It's
actually
not a
a
homeless
PhD.
student. It's not a homeless person. It's a student. She was tired. She was working, coming off work, and just got caught off guard.
That's crazy. Let's keep listening.
Tight-lipped about her identity. Here's what we know so far. She was so badly burned, she had to be identified through dental records. This is an absolutely horrific story that unfolded Sunday morning, Adrian. Police have not released her identity again, but they have released a photo of the suspect who they now have in custody, a man who officials say arrived in the U.S. from Guatemala. This was back in 2018. He's 33 years old and was most recently living in a homeless shelter in New York City.
A military-age man. That's the kind of man that you could send to create chaos in any community. Look at this.
I mean, you can blame it on an open border. Blame it on an open border.
Who came up with the idea that it's okay to have the borders open and help people out? Who is the genius that came up with that?
Damn. Your boy Biden.
Police say he lit the woman on fire using a lighter while riding the F train with her. She was apparently asleep at the time, adding that when the fire started, he got off the train and sat on the bench on the platform outside of the train car watching her burn.
Wow.
One of the most depraved crimes one person could possibly commit against another human being. And it took the life of an innocent New Yorker.
So officers at the station reportedly saw smoke and the victim in that train car fully engulfed in flames. The fire was put out. She was pronounced dead at the scene. And after photos of the suspect were released, 3 high school-aged New Yorkers called 911 saying they saw that suspect on another train car and reported him.
And let me say this much. That's like a bad nightmare because I grew up in New York City and I have fallen asleep on the train. Nate, have you ever fallen asleep on the train?
Oh, hell no. I'm not you, boy. I keep my eyes open, my third eye open. I don't know about you. I would ride like this with one open. Or I tap myself. I smack myself. I'm scared.
I mean, nowadays, yeah, but back in the days after like a full day of work and you made me tired.
Oh yeah, actually you did. Yeah, because back in the days it was more safe. The people were more humble. People were, like a tight community. Now it's totally different. Totally. I don't
To
know how you used to
authorities.
do it back in the
He is
days.
now in police custody. Those charges in this case are pending. Adrian.
And you know what? A guy like that, I hope he gets life in prison and then deported, because that's insane what he just did there.
All right, guys, so we got to follow up on the bombshell story out of New York City that has essentially shocked the country. I mean, honestly, I'm not really shocked because I cover these types of stories almost every single day, okay? But the normies are probably shocked, okay? They're like, oh, this is happening in this country? Yeah, it is happening, okay? And this story, again, is so bad. It's so disgusting that even the mainstream liberal media has been forced to cover it, despite the fact that the liberal media, for the most part, they have ignored the migrant crisis situation in these liberal cities. But this guy, Sebastian Zapata Khalil, he set this woman on fire who was sleeping in a Brooklyn subway train, and the video has went viral. It is probably one of the most disturbing videos I've ever seen. And
if you actually see the actual video of him standing there staring at the person burning, have you seen that video, Nate?
I was gonna tell you, can we post that video on YouTube?
No, we cannot post it on YouTube because it's devastating.
I seen it. I seen the video. It's crazy. It's disturbing. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, where's security guard? Where's the cops in the platform?
And I'll tell you, in New York City, there's not enough cops to cover all the area. They always got a shortage of cops because New York City is too big. And not only that,
but it is weird. If you see the video, the video is very disturbing. It looked like a scene from a movie because nobody's there. The guy's watching her. Somebody's trying to throw towels on her, but she's just standing. She's gone.
But you know what we need? More people like Penny. That guy that choked out Michael Jackson in the subway.
To rescue?
Yeah.
Rescue. Hey, listen, we just that's our opinion. We're just saying. But if he would have been there, he would throw at least a bucket of water or something, man.
We need more people like
standing still. No moral, no nothing. These people just standing.
If you got a person like Penny, if you got a Marine like Penny who would have jumped in to maybe help to try to rescue the women, that will help a lot. That's why we need people like Penny. We need people that can rescue when the cops are not around.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Tough. It's tough, man. But let's see how it goes,
I think
man.
that
I
is
hope
what
her parents, and my condolences to her too for that girl, 18 too. That's young.
Insane, man. A college student.
And
what has prompted the attention that this story is getting, right? It's something that should not be happening in this country if we actually had competent leadership. And we're getting some more bombshell information about this illegal immigrant and how he got into the country or how he got back into the country. Because the more information that comes out about this guy, I think the angrier that people will be about the fact that this happened in the first place. Because like always, when it comes to these stories, it turns out that not only is our leadership incompetent, which is the reason why this guy is in the country, but also the leadership in these liberal cities, they have essentially facilitated the illegals committing crimes via taking care of them with taxpayer dollars, right? So it's almost as if we paid for this.
Because, New York City is a sanctuary city that supports anybody and everybody around the globe. You could come here from anywhere and they'll give you like a check, Medicaid, housing.
But wait a minute, guys. Whoever watching this video, don't do it now because they're kicking a lot of them out of the shelter. So there's going to be a lot of angry people walking around and upset. They're kicking them out on this type of weather. It's cold out there, man. So if you see one of them in the train station, try not to make no eye contact. My advice, keep your head up. Do not go to sleep until your next stop. That's it.
You know what? When crimes like this happen, it should wake people up. Like, what are we doing? How can we let these maniacs roam around us? Be around on the streets, be around in the subway. We shouldn't be having to go to work scared. Like if I want to take a nap on the train, now I got to worry. Now I got to pay attention.
You got to pay attention, man, because you never know. It's a lot of demons out there, man. A lot of people that, mental health situation. you got to be aware. You know, a lot of personality is crazy. It's not the same, man. It's not the 80s.
I think hopefully now people say, yes, we do need a border. We do need screening. Like people got to be tested before coming into the city, because otherwise, who was that maniac who looked normal looking at a woman burn? Who does that?
Yeah, but we're gonna get back to normal. You're gonna see everything. I think there's gonna be a new start with this situation. It's not, the year's not even over. Look, we got a burning person. God damn.
Okay, and I think that's what makes people angry and upset. Okay, as this guy was getting booked here,
Crazy.
People were yelling at him, upset.
Oh look! Oh look!
They're bringing them out. Oh, look.
¿Por qué lo hice? Why? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why would you do it?
You'll shout out some crazy answer. She ain't give me the number.
All right, what's up?
You were sleeping, you asshole.
That guy really had mental health issues. Again,
Oh yeah, 100%.
we need screening. You can't be. There are people who are not normal, so that's what we need screening. You know, Trump deported that guy when Trump was in office, but then Biden let him back in.
And to all my females viewers, please check your surrounding. Don't trust none of these guys out here. You got to be careful. It's a perfect sample, you know? It's insane out there. Yeah.
That is sad. You don't do stuff like that. That is sad. That's the guy right there. You don't do stuff like that, man. Guys, just step back off of the comedian. Back on the thank you.
You don't do stuff like that.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
he's
see that, you
laughing
heard that.
too?
Now, this illegal immigrant has been charged with first and second degree murder and arson
Yep.
after he was picked up. Okay, they were waiting for the autopsy of the woman who apparently was burned so badly that they had to identify her by her teeth or something like that. Like, it's insane to think about, right? Absolutely insane. But yeah, this person has been charged. The crazy part about this story is that this illegal was deported before it passed. He was deported under the Trump administration, but he snuck back into the country, presumably under the Biden administration. Now, we don't know that for certain. We don't know that for sure.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
but the way this story is lining up, it seems as if this illegal was deported days after coming into the country under Trump, and he came back in at a later date that we don't know. Now, again,
so he got deported. And like, this is like the second craziest crime in New York City that happened this month, right? Because now they got Luigi, they got like a whole fan base, and this Guatemala guy. We got two big stories in New York City.
Yeah.
That's crazy. New York better wake up, man. This is crazy.
And a betting man, a man with common sense, would probably say that, yeah, it is likely that he came in once the Biden administration changed all of Trump's border policies, rescinded a lot of his border policies that helped deport illegals like this man in the first place, keep these types of people out of the country.
We then turned to the bipartisan negotiations, which proved successful, which were then killed. The result of it, a really terrific solution, was killed by irresponsible politics. Looking back now in hindsight, in 2020, if we had known that irresponsible politics would have killed what was clearly a meritorious effort and a meritorious result, perhaps we would have taken executive action more rapidly.
Because
they waited 3 years to take executive action. They let all this migrant come in.
Yeah. Waited all this time to talk, you know, to bring it to tuition. Like, listen, we need to pass this law. We need to make sure all these borders are closed.
Just to use common sense. You don't need to be an intellectual. Just using common sense, you will say we can't let all these people in. This is not sound. This is not safe. You know,
crazy.
Because my whole family are migrants. But you know what they did to get here? They applied and they waited. Can you apply and wait in your country?
And pay the fees and just wait.
A whole bunch of fees.
Yeah. and show us that you are a
Republicans
Biden
argue
citizen,
in this.
you know? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. People cannot wait for this Biden era to be over.
Back and forth over whose job it is to fix the problem. Congress would argue there was executive authority that could have been used before Congress legislated. And they point back to the crisis starting at day one when Trump-era immigration policy was peeled back, remain in Mexico, the 100-day moratorium on most deportations that was announced, the halt to wall construction. Did those measures, and I know you weren't yet in office personally, but did those measures set you up for failure?
Remember something, remain in Mexico is touted as the great panacea. The trend lines of migration were increasing quite exponentially from 2018 to 2019, and that is reflected worldwide. And then the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
Or Tom Holman. Tom, I know you were in Phoenix. You were caught up in the.
Tom is the border czar. This is who we need. Check out what he says.
In the big speech yesterday and the president's first extensive remarks about his agenda. But from what I just told you, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, this is another example of an illegal alien killing American citizens. It's almost a daily occurrence now.
Yep.
You know, because historic number of criminal aliens walking the streets because of this administration's policy in sanctuary jurisdictions and lax immigration enforcement. ICE has their hands tied. Secretary Mayorkas have given them priorities that they can't even go arrest an illegal alien anymore unless he's convicted of a serious crime. Then maybe they can arrest him. So this is on this administration. As far as Governor Hochul, shame on her. She supports sanctuary status in that state. She welcomed thousands of illegal aliens to her state. She sent them to Buffalo and Syracuse. Murders occurred by illegal aliens in Buffalo and Syracuse. She has a green light law. ICE and CBP can't even work with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement can't even share DMV data with these people. So Governor Hochul, shame on you. There's nothing you can say that's going to make this right in New York.
All right. You didn't get a chance to see Secretary Mayorkas in his exit interview on CBS. Talked about how proud he is that the border is down to 50,000. So the problem is virtually solved. Here's what he said, though, when pressed by Margaret Brennan about how he loses track of children. Watch.
Yeah. We certainly have received reports of children being trafficked, even those as to whom we know where they are. That is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security. Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking, but there are children who are reunited with a parent here in the United States or a legal guardian, and they move. And sometimes the government loses track.
So does that explain everything? What should I know about his statement?
That is insane.
It's nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. Border numbers aren't down. They're just putting them through the CBP One app and the CHNV app. You add those programs together, what Border Patrol's catching in the gotaways, we're still have historic numbers. They were bragging the other day that ICE has over 247,000 removals, the most in a decade. No, they don't. If you look at the data, 80% of them were Border Patrol apprehensions that ICE just simply put across the border. ICE interior enforcement numbers are historic lows. And as far as the children, another lie. Under his guidance, under his leadership, first of all, it's his policies that cause over 500,000 of children being smuggled in this country. Traffic.
You know how scary that sounds? That this guy who's in charge is losing children? Like, how is that even possible? That is the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and you can't track them down, and then you let them go. And I don't like the word he said, disappear. They disappear. Like, yo, anybody can just grab them and put them anywhere. Like, we ain't going to find them. This is crazy.
This is just a horrible era of the United States that we're living in, where the news never talked about it. And now they are talking about it. Like, what are we doing? How are all these illegal migrants just flocking our streets? This maniac who got deported just burnt a U.S. citizen, a college student, an 18-year-old college student who was just minding her business.
Crazy, man.
Like,
but you know what I don't like too? That this situation is going to worsen it for the good citizen, like the really, Latino community, Spanish people. Not all of them are criminals, but now the government's going to come down on them. You see, it's going to be chaos, man, just because this guy did that.
Yo, and you know what? All the legal migrants don't really care or have a problem because they're legal. It's the illegal
but
migrants.
they're gonna mix them up. They're gonna mix them up, man. It's a lot of Nicaragua, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Puerto Rican, Dominicans,
but
Salvador, all together.
You know how simple it is to fix that problem? Let me show you how you solve that problem. If the police stop you and you're an immigrant, all you got to do is take out your wallet and have an ID. And that's it. You're not getting deported if you have an ID and you're illegal. That's
a good advice. So all my illegal immigrants out there, illegal, make sure you got your documents and you won't get, pressure on going through the whole process.
Yeah, who's walking around life with no ID and no cars and not following the law of this country. Just follow the law. You gotta have an ID just in case. And
they need to fix the law, man. They're gonna fix it, but
you know what? It goes. Moving forward, I don't know how I can go to sleep in the train now if I see somebody with a light in their hand. I mean, how you deal with that?
That should be a red flag right there. Anybody with a lighter, and why are you having a lighter inside of the train track? Like, why? Like, what is it? What are we lighting? Are this camping? What we doing here? Is this a video set? Yo, New York train is the most craziest, man. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna see, what you're gonna do, or what's gonna happen. It is crazy.
I grew up in New York City trains, man, and yeah, sometimes you see fights between high school kids fighting. You see women fighting, adults. You see a lot of crazy things, but this is the first time I've heard of somebody getting burned to death. I never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, that's it. We tapped the notch. We seen shooting, stabbing, smack. But the burning, damn, what do you think will be next? Because always the copycat.
And that's the only scary part. You said it. The copycat are the worst. So moving forward, I hope to see more police officers and more cameras. And somebody having more, what's his name? Penny, I forgot his name. More men that are willing to step up and help out. Because
New York City got so scary, Noel. The guardian angel are scary. They don't come outside. Remember the guy with the red jacket, they don't come outside.
Be honest, Nate. If you see a guy about to burn a woman, would you have jumped in to save her?
Oh, I would have been yelling, help, or 911. I would have done something, distract them. I would have done something. I wouldn't stay, how people want to do All-Star, they want to record, and they think it's funny. No, the shit is, we lost a life. She lost a life.
No, yeah, I definitely picture myself jumping on top of her in terms of trying to get the fire out.
Normal. We would have got on. That could be your daughter. I would have been doing, I would have done something. I don't stay still, bro. That's not me.
Yeah, because that's insane. But comment down below, what would you do if you were a man in that situation? And that's why we need more heroes like that Penny guy, the Marine guy. I don't know if I would have choked the bum that walks in the train talking about.
I'll play the fifth on that one. That's a situation that we let the court decide that, and it was a horrible situation on both parties. Both died. There was death involved.
No,
but we're gonna wrap it up here and verbal on live.
With that said, thank you for joining us. It was a great report and hope you enjoyed it. Again, remember, before you go anywhere, hit that thumbs up. I see I got 8 viewers today. So let's get more and more news out there. And with that said, peace. Be verbal.
Peace.
Where's the button?